Hey, Sagittarius, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your November 2024 monthly reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Sag, happy birthday to those of you sun signs out there. I do see here that there's going to be a breakthrough. There's a breakthrough, and I would say a miracle. You have divine guidance centrally located in your key themes. This is angelic support, something that you've been asking your higher power, asking the angels for some sort of assistance, some sort of help to heal. Four of Swords right off the bat. You're going to see a breakthrough, and we're going to look at health in your reading. We'll look at finances, abundance, love. We'll look at it all. But I do see here there is a miracle coming in, and the Tower showing up here as well, and the Emperor and the Hanged Man. You're getting yourself out of a sticky situation, and I feel like you have divine guidance or help coming in. This could be through a person that Spirit brings to you. This could be through a resource. It could be through, any avenue. Be open to the avenues of support that show up for you. And I am getting, as we all prepare for Sagittarian season to come into full effect towards the end of November, I feel like you're having a lot of breakthroughs in more areas than one. Bottom of the deck, you have the 10 of Cups. This is the ultimate blessing, right? The 10 of Cups is happiness, it's community, it's family, it's a sense of feeling that togetherness. And for some of you, that may be an area that has suffered in your life, maybe when it comes to family, or when it comes to feeling like you have support, emotional support, even within your career, right? You may feel like it's a job, but you don't have that emotional satisfaction tied to it. And I feel like those types of things are about to change. Yeah, you have a lot of cards showing up here in your career or financial sector. So for some of you, it may have to do with, with finances. What do we have here for love? You also have heart's desire showing up as one of your key themes. So for some of you, there is going to be a strong emphasis on love, passion, family. And you also have here the honeymoon with the paradise. So there could even be a honeymoon phase. Some of you could be going on a honeymoon or traveling, or you could meet someone that you really spark an interest with. But I definitely feel like there's a miracle here happening for you this month. All right, last but not least, we have the shapeshifter. Beautiful. I believe it was Aries. Could be Aries that received the shapeshifter, if I remember correctly. And we also have Aries energy with the Emperor showing up in your reading. So Sag, if you have any Aries in your chart, or if you're dealing with an Aries, you may want to check that reading out as well. All right, so diving in, here's the realization. Here is the moment of truth. And it shows up not out of the blue per se, but I feel like there's been a countdown. I'm getting like the final countdown here. You've been going back and forth on something. I actually am getting the devil energy, even though I don't see it here. I'm getting the devil energy has held you back. Maybe some sort of fear. This could even be money. It could be, codependency, or even manipulation that has bonded you. And I feel like you're breaking out of it here. I feel like there's an old way of doing things, an old lifestyle, an old pattern, and you're actually going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, come out of a situation. And if this is in regards to health, okay, we have the Tower here. So if this is in regards to health, this can be an onset of, symptoms or complications such as infections, accidents, or even confrontations with other people. And I feel like you are having a breakthrough when it comes to anything that has happened regarding your health. All right. This can also be migraines. It can be head injuries, strokes. Be mindful of your blood pressure, because with this tower here, I feel like someone's keeping an eye on their blood pressure. This can also be the onset of menopause, and this can also be reacting emotionally, because that can affect your health. And so if one has intense emotions with that Aries energy, sometimes of anger, I feel like there is a healing or there is a breakthrough. Some of you are having a breakthrough when it comes to suppression. If there's been something that's been deeply seated and suppressed within you, that's why the miracle is coming in here. Okay, because I do see with the tower, when it comes to health, please see the disclaimer in the description box below. But this is also about letting other people's emotions affect you, or letting other people's reactions or decisions or the way that they've handled themselves. It almost feels like you've carried such a big weight on what other people think or how they have responded, or, you know, their own energy has affected you in a very big way. And it could even be a father. It could be a divine masculine, maybe even someone who could have been narcissistic here. Now, when the Emperor shows up in health, this can be, again, I'm getting the brain, I'm getting the head, the blood. This can be muscles as well. But the Emperor has to do with anger. And I am getting that for some of you. It's dealing with other people's anger, or dealing with, you know, healthy ways for you to express your anger. Now, anger is not bad. I'm going to put that out there, Sagittarius. Anger is not bad, but it's how we express our anger that can become negative, toxic, or bad, right? Anger is an emotion that can help us understand ourselves a little bit more. But I feel for some of you, you were maybe the target or the projection of someone else's anger, maybe even growing up. And that may have caused some dis-ease in the body. And the Emperor can also be about starting a new exercise regime, maybe weight training or some sort of cardio that gets the blood pumping and your muscles moving, to get that serotonin, you know, flowing, and to get those endorphins going. I feel like that could be very healthy and very beneficial. So some of you can turn that anger into something productive, right? And because it's about transmuting energy. Like Einstein says, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transmuted. And I feel like that's what you are doing here when it comes to maybe some heavy emotions that you've dealt with. And that could be a breakthrough for a lot of you. Now, next we do have the Hanged Man. And I'm looking at a lot of the major arcanas for health in these readings, but this can also be about drugs, and it can be over medicating. It can also be the lack of medication. It can also be over consuming even healthy products such as, you know, herbs or supplements. It can be ingesting things that we feel are healthy or we're told that we have to take. Get a second opinion, of course, do your research. This may also have to do with memory. Now, I'm getting for a lot of you, I'm seeing a repeat pattern here of the head, the face, okay, memory problems. And then also with the tower, this can be migraines. It can be head injuries, stroke. So be mindful of the brain. Be mindful of illnesses affecting the brain, Alzheimer's. It can also be mental disorders, maybe dealing with other people who have had mental disorders, addictive personality, borderline personality, narcissism, right? And again, I'm not here to label or, you know, put these claims out there for anyone. Do again, see a professional, see the disclaimer below. But I feel like these are breakthroughs that you are having this month when it comes to health. Now, I'm also getting here social, like social anxiety or social behaviors from other people have affected you. And because it's affected you in such a profound way, some of you just wanted to hide, right? You wanted to hide. And this could be a really heavy month. It is going to be a heavy month. You may already be tapping into the energies, again, globally, economically, politically. There's a lot going on in November, and you may just want to recoup. You may want to hunker down. Be mindful of social media. Be mindful of the fear mongrels, right? Be mindful of listening to things that keep you stuck, that keep you in that fear-based energy, that keep you feeling like you don't have a choice. And so I'm also, and look at this with the Hanged Man, we also see the crown region illuminated. Some of you could even be drinking mushroom tea, okay, or coffee, or taking supplements that have to do with maybe the brain. I also see sleep for some of you here. You may have restless sleep with this Hanged Man. There could be tossing and turning, sleep apnea. Some of you may find that sleeping in a new position, maybe you're getting a new mattress or a new pillow, a new comforter set. That could be beneficial for you as well. For those of you that have been overworking yourself, I feel like it's time for a rest. It's time for a break to avoid a tower moment, okay? That is going to be key for you if you've been overdoing it and the body is giving you physical signs such as mental stress, mental breakdown, right? If you're starting to get very lost within the mind, you can't remember things and you're just feeling very scattered, it's time to recenter. It's time to rest. Allow yourself that mental space, even if it's segregating a time of the day for you to meditate. Maybe take a weekend getaway, take a week-long getaway if you're able to, because the Four of Swords is showing up here saying self-care, renewal, rejuvenation. Take a break. Take a break. Now we have divine guidance showing up, and I have a feeling for some of you as well, this has to do with, you know, financial changes or changes in your career that have kept you stuck. Okay, I also see love here as well. So we'll look at all areas, but you do have angelic support, and some of you may be calling upon Archangel Michael for protection, Archangel Raphael for healing, and you may even be connecting to ascended masters is what I'm getting here for you, Sag, and connecting to loved ones, your ancestors and loved ones in spirit, possibly even, you know, a father figure, okay, or someone who is like a father or a grandpa. I'm getting Grandpa Tom. Okay, Grandpa Tom, that's for some of you. But I'm getting here miracles and spiritual strength, assistance. If you are going through a recovery, if there is something within your physical body, emotional body, you know, whatever it is that you are going through, you're not alone. And I do see divine guidance and help. Some of you may be researching near-death experiences, or you're watching movies, or you may find yourself reading books that have to do with miracles, maybe even a course in miracles. Maybe you're listening to, you know, mediumship readings, or you're getting one done yourself. Okay, I feel like there's a gift here, or there is something regarding the angels showing up, and you may even receive a sign through a feather, right? This could be a feather. This could be wings in the clouds. It's almost like a cloud break. You know, when it's been muggy and it's been foggy, it feels like that's been the energy for a little while here. But then there's a break in the clouds and that sun pokes through. That's the energy I'm getting for you as we all near Sagittarian season. And there's the beautiful sunset or sunrise. But this is about passion projects. It's about making decisions from the heart space. And because we have heart health here as well, some of you may be paying attention to blood in the heart, okay, or blood pressure. It could also be depression, anxiety. It can be stroke or anything in that heart region. We don't want to avoid. We don't want to set on the back burner. If you are having anything going on in the heart region, be sure to get it checked out. Now, of course, this also has to do with a reopening of the heart. And I'm seeing a lot of this beautiful orange energy, and this is sacral chakra. This is about feeling more passion, passion for life, passion for your career, passion in your relationships. And when I'm talking passion, it doesn't have to be, sexual, which the sacral chakra, it can be sexual energy, but this is so much more. This is that kundalini energy, that awakening of feeling pleasure in life. And that is something we are here to experience. Who doesn't want to feel pleasure when we're eating a good food and we just feel all of the sensations melting, on your tongue, and you just savor every second and you enjoy it, right? That is pleasure. And I feel it's been a long time since some of you felt that pleasure activated. And that's kind of what I see you breaking through in the month here of November. And you have family, you have shadow, and you have R&R at the bottom. First of all, almost every sign has received the shadow work card, because this is my Scorpio energy. And a lot of us have been facing fears. A lot of us have been doing the inner healing and taking a look at buried emotions, trauma, addictive personality traits, or things that we gravitate to that are unhealthy. This can also be asking for help, reaching out, therapy, coaches, mentors, healers, gurus, right? Whatever it is that you are needing to face, knowing that you're not alone, but being vulnerable enough to open up. And I see that some of you have struggled with family dynamics, okay? Or there has been some deep healing, some deep addictions or traumas or deep emotions that were tethered or tied to the family origin here. And that may also be why we see the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right. And lastly, we have rest and retreat. We have rest and retreat here. So if you're thinking about taking some downtime, do it, right? If you're thinking about booking a vacation, maybe even going on a spiritual retreat, or just allowing yourself to have a little bit of that R&R, that's different than this Hanged Man. This Hanged Man feels like it's a forced delay from the universe. And sometimes we do get that, right? The body tells us to slow down, right? It starts to give us cues, but we don't listen. And maybe it starts with that stub toe, right? It starts with that ankle pressure. And then it starts with that, surgery on the knee. And, the body is always giving us signs to say, hey, slow down a bit. Stop and smell the roses. It's time to bring back joy and pleasure into life. And I see here that there's peace that you're heading towards. If things have felt chaotic, if some of you, your adrenals have been clogged, like adrenal fatigue, right? You've been tired, and I'm talking bone tired. This goes deeper than just yawning and taking naps, right? It feels like the soul is tired. And I feel like that's because some of you, there's this sense of purpose, right? And that's what's activating that heart's desire, right? The purpose here. And I feel like the 4 of Swords is showing up saying rest, retreat, heal, give yourself that self-care, take a break, because it's about finding mental balance again. And for some of you, you were forced into a delay or forced to stop and slow down, right? It may have been by an illness. It could have been, a push externally, maybe a job loss or the ending of a relationship. But it actually allowed you to go through a spiritual awakening, because that's what the Hanged Man is all about. The Hanged Man is perspective. And sometimes we don't always see a different perspective until we get so compressed into like a pressure cooker, right? Until we explode in some way, whether it's a tower, whether it is, maybe a health issue. It can be anything, of course, that gives us a new perspective on life. And I feel for some of you, you felt like you were that pressure cooker, and you now have the light at the end of the tunnel. You have the breakthrough, and the breakthrough is a moment of truth. And the moment of truth is, I cannot go on the way that I've been going on. Change needs to occur. And I feel like you are stepping into your own personal victory here. And by doing so, you are the victor. You have the 9 of Wands. I see you've been wounded. I see that you have had over, you know, overburdening of obstacles. You've had to persevere. You've had to gather up all the strength within you. You've had to set boundaries. You may have even separated yourself from family or from people, right, in order to heal. But what I also see here with the 9 of Wands is you having this renewed sense of determination. You will not give up. Sagittarius, you are a fighter, and you're reigniting this sense of bravery within you that says, I'm going to overcome any external hurdle or even internal that's thrown at me, because you are powerful. You are very powerful. And the Tower is showing up, destroying old structures in order to have a new beginning. This is change. And we see double Aries showing up here with the Tower and the Emperor. We also have here Pisces energy. But I see that by letting an old structure crumble, because some of you, you may have been fighting to hang on to something that really was meant to bring you to your knees in a sense, right? And it meant to really shift your perspective, but it's like the blinds, right? You see that in the back I have blinds, and sometimes you see me adjust them because sometimes that light comes in and it's just so bright you can't see anything, and other times it's just too dark, and you got to try to find that balance. It almost feels like you're opening up the blinds here and you're allowing that light to come in, but your eyes are starting to adjust because you don't want to shut them, because you shut them too many times in the past. And I feel like the Tower here is saying, you're destroying old structures. This is a new beginning. This is a change for the better, because it's going to help you step into the Emperor. It's going to help you step into more structure, or it could even be more stability. It doesn't have to be a defined structure, like a routine day in and day out, right? Some of you, that's what you're wanting to break out of. But I feel like this is somewhat of a structure that feels flexible. It feels like it's aligned to your heart. And I feel like it's going to take this Tower to kind of come in and let that structure fall so you can build up choices that you make from your own heart. This isn't choices that someone else makes for you, right? It's not choices that were conditioned within you at a young age, possibly from, you know, a father figure or their lack of. And I feel like that's what's shifting. New choices coming in based on manifesting from a place of love, manifesting from a place of self-love, not manifesting from a place of fear or someone else's wishes or dreams. This has to do with you. This has to do with your purpose and your being and your reasoning here for being on earth, which is many. It's not just one. And there you are. Once you realize this, you're taken off. Knight of Swords showing up is charging ahead with intellect. This is being assertive. It is confidence. It is communicating. And I feel also some of you are traveling. It's like you have an idea that comes into your mind and you run with it. Good. Run with it. It's about time, right? And sometimes this Knight of Swords gets a bad rap. Like, this person's impulsive. They don't think, right? They like the fast. They like the, they like the motorcycle. They like the skydiving. They like the fast pace. And I feel like this is a little different than that. This is about you moving towards what your heart is telling you, but also the intuitive inspiration that's coming through and you doing it. Because otherwise, if you don't do it when that opportunity arises, it almost feels like you fall back and you shut the shades, right? You shut them, and then that light, it no longer comes through, and then that opportunity passes. So this is pretty big, pretty intense. And I just see here that a lot of you, by gaining this new perspective here, by allowing yourself time apart or time away or time to rest or to see something from maybe a different angle, by giving yourself a little bit of that downtime with the Four of Swords, you're going to come back feeling refreshed. Maybe some of you, this is an actual vacation, or, it could even be while you are showering, right? I get a lot of intuitive hits and downloads while I'm in the shower, and you may receive an aha moment that inspires you. And it's time to take action instead of saying, well, I'm going to wait till tomorrow, right? Start today. Do that thing right now, right? Right now. In fact, shut this video off and go do it. Okay, and come back to it if you want. But let's take a look at career. Let's look at finances, wealth, abundance. You have a lot of cards that came up here. And a couple that I am seeing are the Anchor and the Unexpected. And this shows up towards the end here. So this may be something that you've been stuck in with this Hanged Man, money blocks, or feeling tethered to something, feeling tied. Maybe some of you are stable, but it doesn't bring you that personal, emotional feeling of satisfaction that you would like, right? Some of you maybe have a dream of untethering yourself, right? And heading towards the water, right? It could be water related. I also see that some of you are getting yourself out of a pickle, getting yourself unstuck. And maybe by talking to a boss, it could be going to human resources. It could be taking action, right? I also see you speaking up, you being direct, you being assertive. And this is about you knowing what you know and not backing down, right? You're not going to back down here. And I feel like you're moving forward. You're making choices because you know that these choices are what's in your highest good. And even if it stirs some things up with that Tower, right, it's going to bring about personal conviction to you. And you know that you've done all that you could do, or you know that by you speaking up, yes, it's going to change things, but that's what you are meant to do. Now, some of you, there may have been a crisis that was out of your control, but you can still control the outcome. Okay, you can still control the outcome. Deal with things ahead and try to prepare for the unexpected. This may have to do with your finances. It could be putting a little bit aside. Maybe this is, you changing your oil on a vehicle, for example. We have to keep up on our vehicle. We have to, wash it, make sure the oil is changed, and check the pressure, the tire gauge, and all that stuff. We bring it in for maintenance, just like our bodies, right? We try to get our checkups. We try to get things tested so things don't show up out of the blue. And I feel here that you have done a good job, or at least you are aligning with this energy now to really take a look at things before they manifest into a full-blown crisis, basically. All right, let's get to the good stuff because it looks like the rest of these are pretty powerful. I do see here the eggs. Some of you are starting over. This could also be taking a look at your nest egg, right? The amount that you've contributed to maybe retirement or to your savings funds. You may even be looking into healthcare options. Some of you may work in healthcare or in insurance. This is new opportunities coming your way. And instead of putting all your eggs in one basket here, I feel like you're spreading something out, Sagittarius. You're spreading it out. So you could have multiple sources of income coming in here for you, or that's the idea that I want you to run with, right? That's something here because you may be feeling like there's an unsteady or unstable energy with where you're currently at, and you may feel stuck in that. Therefore, you're feeling renewed. You're feeling inspired to take action on something that even though if this goes under, or even though if this may be a flop over here, you still have income. You still have abundance over here and multiple streams of it at that. You also have the Candle. This is about ambition, taking action, hustle. It's manifesting money. Hello, Knight of Swords, right? This is visibility, high rank, getting noticed, and athleticism as well. So this Knight of Swords, he has some calves on him. He is someone who, when he sets out to achieve a goal, he's assertive, he's direct, and he makes it happen. Just like an exercise routine, right? We can have the idea that we want to lose weight, or we want to get fit, or we want to get healthy. But a lot of times our excuses are bigger than our goals. And I see here, Sagittarius, that you're not making any more excuses because you know that those excuses could be detrimental with that Tower. And you're saying, wait a second, Spirit, God, universe, Bring me a miracle. Bring me something I can work with. And if you bring this about, I will put in the work. I'll put in the energy, put in the effort. You know, as they say, take one step toward the gods, they'll take 10 steps towards you. That's what I see you doing. And once you take a step, it's like the dominoes effect here. Something really starts to fall into place for you and you get noticed. So that you could be hitting high rank here in your career. This could be a business opportunity that you're putting yourself out there. You could have an idea and this idea is renewed within you. There's a spark showing up. And of course you have the gift card because a lot of you are about to celebrate a birthday. This is reciprocity. It's giving and receiving. It is generosity, support. It certainly could be a windfall. There may be a work surprise coming in. There may be a vacation. This talks about financial support as well. So I love to see the gift showing up here for you, Sagittarius. Next, we have the book. You could be an author, a writer. Maybe you are doing administrative work, education, teaching. This could be taking a class, writing, and learning as you go. And so often, that is why most people give up before that ball gets rolling, before that domino hits the next one, right? Because we don't know. We tend to have imposter syndrome, or we tend to not stay consistent because we don't see immediate results. And I do see here long-term growth. It's at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Cups. This is long-term fulfillment here for you. The 10 of Cups is the ultimate blessing, so keep going. And I see that there is a new chapter of your life story when it comes to your career, possibly closing out of an old book and entering into, you know, a new story of your life. Some of you, there's going to be a contract or an e-document, something that needs to be signed, something that needs to be addressed. I feel like this is good. This is actually going to bring about money or finances. It could also be technology that you're working with. Maybe it's writing up your about section on your website. It could be adjusting some prices. I do see some editing. I do see some trial and error here, but I feel like you're hitting that launch button or the publish button. There's something that you're putting out there, and I feel like you're going to get some really good feedback. Okay, really good feedback. Maybe that's your resume as well. Next, you have the ornaments. This is my December card. It's my Sagittarian energy, and this is about extra money. So by the time Sag season hits, I feel like you'll have known that you've made choices and investments that will mature, that you can celebrate here. Some of you may be celebrating retirement or finish work, retail, beauty industry. There's definitely extra money coming in for you by the end of the year. There's the student card here. So someone's going back to school. There's the book. It says work with a mentor to learn new skills or teach you how to implement your plans. And I think we mentioned that in the beginning, working with a mentor or working with someone. And it could be that you are the teacher and you could be bringing students to you. You could be in school to pursue higher education or even work for a school district. Teach yourself to succeed with money or get a financial advisor to teach you. And lastly, this is for all my entrepreneurs out there. There's a new creative project that you are feeling inspired to put out there, right? This is a new income source. It's a new idea. This is lucrative. This is not a pipe dream for you. This is something that if you stick to, if you stay consistent, if you set boundaries and you look at things from multiple perspectives here, I feel like you can avoid a crisis or, you know, restructure how you do your work or your business. You can really climb to the top here with the Emperor, and you can really take off, and maybe even quite quickly. Now, I'm not talking get rich quick, because slow and steady wins the race, but this is saying take your idea now and run with it, because maybe in a month from now, someone has that domain name that you wanted. Maybe in 1 month from now, if you wait, someone has published the book with the title that you wanted, right? Don't wait on something here, because I feel like you're going to get the most bang for your buck type of energy here, or the best outcome if you act on it now. All right, let's look at love. Let's look at relationships, partnerships. Some of you with the Tower, you're getting a double shock. There's been a change. There has been a big change, some shocking news, maybe even a surprise, epiphany, or even transformation when it comes to a relationship or an important partnership in your life. And so I do see the shock factor. And some of you are like, I just want to run from it. I just want to exit. And I feel like you need to heal from it. So try not to run from something that needs to be addressed now. And that's why the Tower shows up a lot, because sometimes we resist change and we say, well, if I just stay in this, right? If I just stay in it or stay stuck in it, everything will be fine. And I just feel like the first reaction is to fight or flight, possibly with this Knight of Swords, but you may have to address something here. Now, for others of you, you are entering into a new phase. And this could be building an empire with someone, right? With this Emperor here, this is a new phase. Some of you may even be rekindling something. Maybe a message that shows up out of the blue from someone that you haven't talked to for a long, long time. Maybe someone who even kept you on, pause. I almost feel like pause, like they weren't ready in some way. They've changed their mind. Maybe you've changed your mind. This is about rising from the ashes. And I feel like now you're building more stability and security in your life. This is about performance. It's about growth. It is about feeling balance. And that's what you've been working on in all areas of your life, not just partnerships, but within oneself. You're coming back to your center. You're coming back to feeling whole, feeling alive. And lastly here, you have paradise. So this is quite profound, because some of you, in order to reach this paradise, there needs to be a restructuring here with the Tower, right? The destroying of old belief systems in order to gain a new perspective, because happiness is a choice. Happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other's company, and a honeymoon phase, right? If this is rekindling, remembering why you fell in love with each other, remembering that everybody is going to go through different phases in their relationships, especially when you've been together with someone for decades, right? You're going to see multiple sides of them, multiple perspectives of them, because we are not meant to just stay in the growth that we are when we meet someone. We're always evolving. We're always changing. And sometimes that evolution can strengthen relationships. Sometimes it falls to the wayside. But I feel like it's up to you to decide at this time, right? Up to you to say, what do I need to do to restructure? What do I need to do? What choice do I need to do here? Because happiness is a choice, right? What choice do you need to make to bring about happiness in your world, in your life? And I feel like it has to do with love. Asking yourself, what would love do? What would self-love do? And that's big, because a lot of times we tend to forget about our own needs, right? We tend to forget about what we want because we're focused on everyone else. And I do feel here that you're thinking about your needs and your happiness. And even if sometimes that may mean other people are intimidated or other people are disappointed, I feel like it's your time to shine. You've helped a lot of people, Sagittarius. And it doesn't mean that, you're leaving anyone in the dust that is meant to come with you. If they're meant to come with you, they're going to come with you. But if they're meant to kind of stay back, then that's what needs to happen here as well. All right. Last but not least, you have the shapeshifter. And again, I think it was Aries. I'm pretty sure it was Aries that received the shapeshifter, which is quite a profound archetype here. I'm just finding it. This is the trickster. It's the elusive, the formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing, only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, and experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it's important to imagine you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focus lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with the shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our center. How interesting is this? The kaleidoscope is the different lens, the perspective of the Hanged Man, right? But then we have the Four of Swords that can leave us feeling exhausted. And we talked earlier about the non-committal, the experimental as well. And some of you, adaptability. I think we mentioned that. Stay adaptable. But I feel like you're shifting out of old form. You're shifting out of an old cycle here and entering into a new, more adaptive time. Because when this shows up as the light aspect, Sag, it's vibrant, it's humorous, it is adaptive. All archetypes that you have within you. When it's showing up as the dark, it can be a charlatan, it could be people-pleasing, and it can be trickery or even manipulation. Or you may find yourself drawn to or attracted to those energies for healing, right? The ultimate shapeshifter works undercover in service of the greater good. The diminished shapeshifter becomes a people pleaser. Remember that. The shapeshifter is related to the mask. Notice if these cards come up together. I'm just going to pull from mid-deck here. All right, we have the King, which is the Emperor here. So we don't see the mask. So it looks like a lot of you are stepping into a more powerful persona, a more powerful archetype here of the shapeshifter. So what you're shifting into is more personal power for yourself. This is good. Now, if those cards come up together in one reading, it says you're in the realm of heavy theater, illusion, and possibly deception. Now, I don't see that showing up here. I don't see a mask for you. But because you have the Tower, you could be seeing other people wearing a mask, right? You could be seeing other people, shifting. It almost feels like people aren't who you thought they were. Because like I said, as we grow, as we evolve, as we adapt to life's changes externally as well, we start to see different sides of ourselves or of others. And sometimes we don't always like that part. We don't always like who someone has become. And that's where you have to, ask yourself, do I want to move forward with this energy? Or is it something that I am ready to move through? That is what I have for you, Sagittarius. It looks like a very powerful month for you. I hope this resonates. You definitely have a miracle, so look for those miracles. And I see here you opening up the heart. And even though I don't see any heart cards out here, it is going to be important to trust and keep that heart open and ask, what would love do? How can you parent yourself, right? How can you nurture yourself? And that may be what you're shifting out of. Some of you may even be dropping out of that more masculine energy, female or male, it does not matter. And you may be shifting more into the feminine or vice versa. Maybe you've been very receptive or, very much creating, but now it's time for you to take action and, launch. So take it as it resonates to you. If this does resonate, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell and notification if you haven't already. Thank you again, Sag, for tuning in, and happy birthday to you.